This is The Speaking Show. I'm David Newman, and you're tuned in to the #1 podcast for speakers, consultants, and experts who want to speak more profitably. Jess Todtfeld, here he is, the man, the myth, the legend. You want media? I'm giving you Mr. Jess Todtfeld. How are you, sir?
David Newman, I am so thrilled to give to your people today. I am all set. I've rolled up my sleeves. That's what politicians do.
Yes.
They roll up their sleeves and they say, well, let's leave the politicians out of it. I will say, I'm ready to show people how to use media to get more of what they want. And I'm thrilled to just give as much as we can squeeze in.
Awesome.
That's on you, David.
All of our consulting viewers are going, okay, let's go. And I believe the theme and topic for our segment today is 3 steps for getting media attention and the most fun part, turning it into business. So you, of course, are a media guru. You've got clients that come to you for all sorts of media, getting into print, getting on TV, getting onto radio, building their platform, building your visibility. Let's start with some of the mistakes that when they have come to you, they say, well, Jess, I've got these articles that I'm quoted in, and I'm on these TV shows a couple times a year, and it hasn't done much for my business, dude. What am I doing wrong? And what are most people doing wrong, even if they can get a little bit of media on their own?
I'm so thrilled that we're starting with this because the piece of the puzzle that's missing is the ROI, return on interviews, as I like to say. And people don't realize, they're like, oh, I should do media, or that would be cool. And like, oh, I did this TV interview. And then they say, you know what, the phone didn't really ring. And then to that, I say, what year is it? I mean, I'm polite to them. I don't really say that to them. But the old 20th century thought process is, I'm going to do these interviews and then my phone will just ring. And we're in the 2000s. I'm trying not to date this in case you replay it, but
because at some point people will be watching and it'll be the 3000s.
It'll be the 3000s. I will not have any more grays or hair loss. But anyway, the way it works in the 2000s is you do this interview. You say some of the right things that we'll get into. And as soon as it's done, that's when the magic happens, which is you have this powerful marketing piece. And this is why Dave and I get along so nicely. Outside of, I think he's a great guy. But because we connect on the idea of marketing. You even said just recently, it's about leads and it's lead generation and making things, keeping things flowing and I said, yes, that's the exact thing that's happening with interviews. So you say the right thing in the interviews and then you share it in a number of different ways so that when people hear the interview and what you write under the interview, whether it's TV, print, radio, whatever, what they should do next, that they know what to do next. That's how it works. That's how you get an ROI. And most people are confused. You want to know mistakes? That was your question. The mistake is people lack the clarity of understanding the full path. So they do an interview and they're just kind of all over the place. And sure, I tell people how they can do a better job in the interview, but ultimately it's what we just said, which is
we're going to talk about how to get media, but I also want to make sure people understand you may already be getting quote unquote media, but not thinking about it. So would you say, Jess, that also every time that we're featured on a podcast, that's media? Every time someone has us on as a guest for their live stream, that is media. So it's not just, oh, I was on Good Morning America, and I know you've helped your clients do that too, but this could be media of any size and scope. If we don't leverage it, if we don't get leads from it, if we don't grow our business with it, what was the point of getting the media, right?
Absolutely. And we have to really pay attention to the fact that we have all these new opportunities. So we have traditional media, TV, print, radio, and then we have digital media, podcasts, and the 9,000 ways we could do a video interview now. How amazing is that? That we have the proper equipment to maybe sound look a little bit better. I have a little light over here. I have a fancier light over there. I don't know why it's behind me today, but yes, I guess it'll light up the rest of the room. But we have all these great opportunities. And David Newman, I don't know why I have to say his whole name. There might be a podcast that is broadcasting to my right fit prospects and maybe better than Good Morning America, who's like, well, we don't really know how to use you and we'll use you this other way and you're on for 5 seconds. But I mean, you could use that logo. But my point is, I've had it where I go and I do something that seems smaller, but it's a right target market and people pop up. And it may run longer too.
Right.
So people might pop up over time. But we have to have that clear path.
This is like Denzel Washington. Treat me like I'm a fifth grader, right?
Are
Let's
you
go
Denzel?
all the
I
way
don't know.
back. And people are probably mystified going, how do I even get the attention of the media? How do we even get that first interview? How do I get that first article to be quoting me or featuring me? How do I even get started, Jess Todtfeld? And how do we as business owners, entrepreneurs, consultants, how should we think about getting started?
I can answer it in one word. I can answer it in 3 letters. Here it is. Ask. We need to ask, whether it's us asking the media, traditional or digital media or whatever it is, or if we pay somebody and somebody else is doing it on our behalf. It doesn't matter.
Professional asker.
A professional asker is the title. And we need to cast a wider net. If you say, I reached out to 2 outlets and I didn't hear back. Actually, the way this conversation goes with people who I've had this with, and I've said, so did they open your email? And they're like, how the heck do I know? And I'm like, well, did you use one of the many tools to know if they at least saw it? And they're like, and I said, so you reach out to 2. What would you think your open rate would normally be? And they're like, open rate? I'm like, well, if you sent a bigger mass email, do you know, open rate? And they're like, I have no idea. So I bring that up because for many people, 10% is a great open rate.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you send it to 2 people, you didn't even send it to 10 people to be like, well, one person was definitely looking, then, the numbers just don't make sense.
Right.
So the short answer is we need to ask. We need to let go of, the outcome, be like, I'm going to throw it out there. What do I care if they say yes or no? I'm going to just keep asking. And then this is the Jess take. And by the way, we didn't bring this one little nugget up. Maybe people read about it. I have a Guinness record for publicity. I hold it for the last 11 years. I was saying 10. I realized the other day, I looked on the wall and it's 11 years. And it's for giving the most interviews in 24 hours. I was promoting a book, even though I did quite a bit of TV and print. It's on radio, which was 112 different stations in a 24-hour period. If one of them broadcast to 500, they only counted as one, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. I have the record and I hold it. What does that mean to the people who are listening? What it means is people would say to me next, which is, oh, that's nice. How did you get those interviews? How did you get people to say yes? And, tell me how to do it. So today, I'm going to give as much as I can from that. I don't like to, look at David's face. And his wife married him anyway. And she sticks around. So there are just 3 steps for getting media and turning it into business. And I had this similar chat with somebody else recently on something like this. And they said, that sounds too short. Can you make it 5? And I said, no, it's simple. I'm making it simple for people because I truly want all of you to leverage the power of media.
Hey, this interview is a real moneymaker. If you're serious about ramping up your reach and revenue as a speaker, trainer, or expert, book a confidential speaker strategy call with our team. The link is doitmarketing.com/call. It will be the most valuable 45 minutes you invest in your speaking-driven business. Speaking of value, let's get back to the show. I want to go into what you said a moment ago and overlay it onto what's coming up because this is going to be super exciting. This is going to be a gold mine for people.
I like gold mines.
I am a professional service provider of some kind. I specialize in the banking industry. That's my target market. Banks, bankers, banking, vendors in the banking ecosystem. I shouldn't be going after, like we just said, Good Morning America, Akron, Ohio newspaper, Florida paper, New York Times, whatever, right? I should be going after media in the banking industry, the banking publications, the banking trade press, the banking professional association magazines, the banking podcasts, the banking blogs. So we need to narrow this down because people go, oh, it's impossible. I'll never get into the Washington Post. I'll never get into Good Morning America or the Today Show. For
And in that example, you don't need to.
media, right? Business media is different than mass market consumer media.
Exactly.
So we should
Exactly.
focus on the business media, correct?
Yes, unless people are trying to get onto those outlets. How great is that? When everybody else is trying to get on Good Morning America, and you say, but this is my right fit outlet, or this podcast is not only my right fit people, but I'm the only one who's going to come on and say X, Y, and Z.
Right.
So you reach out and they're like, wow, you should be on our podcast or our interview. Exactly. So people need to think like that. And by the way, some people come to me, and my business, there's training, there's do-it-yourself stuff, and then there's also some done-for-you stuff with getting on media outlets. And not everybody is a perfect fit for me. And I might say to them, maybe in this case, I might say, we're going after some of the bigger mass market. You know what? This is what you should do. You should do what David Newman just said. Yeah. And maybe I would direct them on how to get a media list that focuses on that extreme niche. And I'll say, just run with it. Follow one of the templates that I have, and I'll try to speak to it today for the right email. That's not a press release that goes on and on and on. Nobody wants to read that, right? Your diatribe of, this is everything I've ever done. And they're like, well, what is the story? I'm confused.
Right.
That's the part that people forget.
So with that, take us into step one.
Step one is get media. Go get media to say yes. Okay.
Wait a minute. I'm taking notes. Get media.
Get media. Now that you've done that, but step two is, now everybody's like, Jess yada-yada'd over step one, which, by the way, we have to acknowledge, I know I look like Jerry Seinfeld, and your name is Newman.
That's true.
Newman.
Hello, Newman.
And all I can say is, what's the deal with that? Why they think that my face? So now that we've gotten that out of the way.
Thank goodness, because everyone's thinking of that. They're like, this guy kind of reminds me of... who is it? Seinfeld, maybe? Yes.
Yes. And my last name's Toddfeld, and I live in the town that he grew up in.
There you go.
Weird. Why? It's just a coincidence. Anyway, get media. How do you get media? I said you ask. So how do you ask? So there's do-it-yourself and there's done for you. So if it's do-it-yourself, you need to cast a wider net. You need a list. There are lots of places. Can we
purchase a media list somewhere?
There are lots of places you can purchase it from. I'm a reseller, which means I would give it to people for much, much less, but people can go out wherever. And it's like this much of what I do. But people need to have a list. By the way, if you don't have a list and you're like, oh, I don't have 2 pennies to rub together. Well, then you can, that just makes me think of so many things, but you can go online and you can go to one of these media outlet web pages. I could do it now, but it would eat up time. But you can go to NBC Sacramento and you go to their website. And you either go to the About Us or the Contact Us page. And lo and behold, you will see producer names and email addresses and contact, or it'll say reach the booking desk or something like that. So you can start building. It takes time. We always decide, do we want to save time or we want to save money?
Right.
So you can sit there and go through site after site after site to build up a list. So the main thing is you start with, you have a list. And the next thing you need to do is ask. So you need to send an email. Could you pick up the phone? Sure. But these days, less people are picking up their phone, and it's an easy way in to send an email. I said before, if we don't have a way of tracking if they opened it, we have no idea. So very quickly, I'll just say, either use a mass email tool, any of the ones like a Constant Contact. I don't use Constant Contact. You and I have chatted about this offline. We have all different ones we've tried. It doesn't matter that much. But the main thing I would say is, you don't want all those things that make it look like a junky newsletter. You want it to say, hi, David. Wanted to see if the story below works for you. This is part of my template before. It just says, hi, first name. Wanted to see if the story below works for you. Jess. And I might put under it author of Media Secrets or media something that shows, who I am, media consultant. And then I draw a line. And then I put the headline nice and big, which would be, let's think of something good. 5 ways to the media likes lists. 5 ways to use media interviews to grow your business. So then let's say that's what it was. Then that's the headline. Next, they need to know who. I'm giving you the template. Save this and rewind it, people. So it's what is the story? Who is available? I put my name, my title again, a link to my bio, and then bullet points, not a whole press release, bullet points of what the heck I would say in that interview. So if I say 5 ways, each bullet point should be one of the ways, and maybe a bullet point or two on my background of why I'm the expert. And that's it. And then your contact information. And you send that out. And you could send different versions. It doesn't have to be perfect. You probably can spell check it. That's not a bad idea. So you don't sound like, a crazy person, which I've done 1,001 times and learned the hard way. I mean, in life, I've done it the hard way. Thankfully, not too much to the media. Although, I'm going to tell you this very quick 10-second story, which was I did send something to a media list I have of 10,000 media folks. And actually, this was my personal list and not media, meaning just people who follow me. And I said something, and I said, hi, first name code. And I never changed it from first name code to the code that puts their first name in there. So it went out, and I was like, oh. But then I sent a second email, and I said, you may not have known this, but I'm going to tell you, you're going to break some news. I am a human being who's not perfect.
Right.
And I screwed something up. And all these people wrote back, and they either laughed and said, I did that too, or how cool is that? And you know what? We roll within life. So anyway, so you don't have to be perfect is the point. You have to be coherent, but you don't have to be perfect. So we send it out, and then we wait, and we try again. So that's the main, as far as get media, that's how you do it. I just gave you the template. I said you have to ask, like, hey, would the story below work for you? Notice that that email asks a yes or no question. And by the way, people can take away from this for business emails in general in life. If you're sending someone an email, whether you put the question at the beginning or the end, people need to know, like, what do I need to do with this email? If you're on the go and someone sends me an email and it has 10 questions in it, I put a little flag or a star on it, and then I try to remember to write to them later, and then I may not write to them.
Right.
And it's probably my mother, and then I feel bad, and I insulted my own mother. Anyway, but it might be business related. So anyway, so that's how we get media. We go through those steps. Anything else that you'd like to know on get media before I move to now number 2?
I think we are ready for number 2.
All right, so we've got media. Step number 2 is share, or the word I like to use now more is celebrate. So, like, oh yeah, you should share this on social media. Yeah, it's one outlet, but there's one place, but there's 4 places that you can share. There's more than 4, but there's 4 main places that you can share so you can make something big happen. Because we said in the beginning, it's not just, hey, go get media attention. It's use it to grow your business. So the problem with the word share is people are like, oh, they get into like a mindset of, I feel like maybe I'm bragging. I mean, not me or David. We've gotten way past that. Oh, am I bragging? Am I talking about myself too much? And the short thing I'd say on that is the more you make it about everybody else, the more you make it on how you're helping everybody else. Right. You're nodding because that's what you do all the time. The less you even have to worry about that. You're like, I'm here to help you. I'm going to play big and give and give and give. And then the right people are like, maybe I should have a conversation with that guy. Oh, I like this one thing. Or like, what should I do next? And then you need to tell them what to do next. So that's an important piece of this. So the word celebrate is you did this media interview, you're proud of it, and you celebrate. Hey, I'm so proud, or I'm grateful that I got to be on this show. I'm going to do that after this, that I'm grateful. You'll see it, David Newman, and people tuning in. Go look it up on my various places, the 4 places I'm about to share, to say I'm grateful to be on with David Newman, who's somebody I like, know, trust, and respect, who puts out amazing content and allowed me to be a part of the mix this time. And here's what I talked about. So we need to share. Here were the 4 places. Yes, social media. Jess, which one? Whatever ones you can put yourself on. You don't know who's going to see what, where. Put it all over. Jess, I'm busy. And this is where I have a conversation with myself.
Right.
Jess, I'm too busy to keep up with that and be consistent. Well, there are lots of tools out there. Some are free or really, really cheap. And here's one I love, recur post. You put stuff in, and when it hits the bottom, it recurs. So if I get busy and I haven't done something, Stuff is popping up all over the place. And I've had people, somebody, I just chatted about this today. They said, do you do any work besides put yourself on social media? And I'm like, you don't even know how little I'm doing to actively. I mean, I respond to people and have amazing conversations. So, social media, you lose a tool like that. Next would be an email list. Oh, is that a newsletter? I hate the word newsletter because to me, that means hey, want more junk that you didn't need or ask for? But I would love it to be called anything else. David, you did some like Facebook Live a few years ago. You said, I think it was when Periscope came out. You're like, coffee with David. You were talking about domain names. And you went and you said, I just bought all these domain names. And I did too. And I never used some of them, but I didn't care. It was fun.
Send me the bill.
I'll send it to you. $63.
There you go.
Which I've got way more from our relationship. So I probably owe you money. But anyway, the whole point is we have to share and celebrate. Don't let it be a junky newsletter. Let it look like something like you really just sent it to people, whether we're talking about sending it to the media or to your people. So social media, an email list.
I mean, that's a huge insight right there. Let's not just whiz by that one. You're saying that our regular subscriber-based email, Constant Contact, MailChimp, all of that, it should look like an email that you sent manually. It shouldn't have the fancy graphics, the banners, the subheads, the dancing bears. It should look like a human-to-human email, except, of course, at the bottom, it's going to have a little teeny tiny print, Jess Todtfeld, click here to unsubscribe, click here to change your email address, whatever. But ordinarily, they would consume it more intimately like a one-on-one email.
So that's my take.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to go back and look at the David Newman emails and some other ones. And there's certain people that I know I want to follow and want to see what they're up to.
Sure.
In which case, I don't really care if they put some other stuff. But if I just get added to an email and I see all this stuff, my brain says, how long do I need to commit to this?
Right.
I love Tim Ferriss, but he has a podcast and he sends an email with a digest and other stuff. His podcast is 2 hours long. I'm out. I love Tim. I'll buy every book probably. I have ones I haven't even gotten to yet. The 4-Hour Chef we got. We're like, yeah, we didn't make one meal. So he's doing something right. But to that point, my take is, for me, I want it to be intimate and I want it to be short. I want people to know whether I'm sending my immediate emails or my personal emails to my people. Yeah. I want them to know I can read. It usually has a 1 to 2 minute tops video. Not always, but it usually does. But it's usually like just something short. So that people are like, oh, that was a good insight. Right. Okay. I'm full. Done.
Snackable.
Yes, that's it. And so we have to think, how are people consuming it? And obviously everybody can do what they want. And somebody who's tuning in right now says, I do the Tim Ferriss thing and I have such a crazy amount of content. It works for me. Awesome. Run with it. So yes, that's an important piece. I'm trying to think if I was going to add something to that, but I'm thrilled that you picked up on that. So we have sharing on social media and email lists. Oh, this is the thing I wanted to share on this. I heard this through the people over at ClickFunnels. They were interviewing somebody else and this woman said, and I've done this lots of times, but if you only reach out to your email list periodically and once in a while, and when you need something, then it's like a booty call. And a woman said this, but you know what? I was like, holy cow, she is so right? It's like, hi, I need something. It's not what I said earlier, which is you're giving. And then when you bring up your stuff or you link to whatever it is, that people are like, oh, I get lots of value from you. Of course, I want to see what your thing is, whatever your thing you're promoting. So we have social media, we have email. The next one is on your web page. So for media, what I want people to put in all these places on our website so we can put it. But in the first eyeful, meaning the first thing that shows up, you need to see as featured by ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS. For my Done For You service, we actually guarantee that people will be able to get that. But for other people, whatever it is you got, did you get Reader's Digest and the Kalamazoo Gazette or Plan Advisor, which is something one of our clients who's in the banking, she's a financial advisor, but she got Plan Advisor, which made her look elevated and look good. Whatever. Put those logos where we can see it. Don't just put it on a media page. Put it all over. We're celebrating. We're showing. And again, I brought this up in the very beginning. You want to say the right things in certain interviews so that people know what to do next. That means the right calls to action. So people say, I know what to do second, right? So you say it in the interview, ideally, saying, oh, hey, I have this cool free thing on my website. And of course, the interviewer says, what's that website? And then people go there and they sign up and they're in your universe and there's a sequence of whatever happens. Or if you have the type of business where you do a 15-minute call to get to know somebody or whatever it is, let people know. Say, yes, in fact, I'm going to open up, 15 slots and maybe it's just 15 that week and there'll be a new 15 next week. But you put it on your website so people see that. And then you put underneath, hey, if you like what I say in this interview, go pick one of the remaining slots here, the scarcity thing, one of these remaining slots, and we'll chat. They're like, holy cow. And then here's the fourth one. So I said, social media, on your website, email marketing. I know I said in the other order. And here's the last one, on the wall. So even though this home office with all of my genuine fake backdrops of New York City, because I'm in the New York area, all my Zoom backgrounds, as I like to call them, are there, and no human being comes in here because this is my home office. I'm imagining, David, you don't have people coming into that office to sit and do business. Right, we talk this way. But, and I actually have more on that wall. That's Fortune, Entrepreneur, Inc. magazine. I've been in those three. Over there, I have the New York Times. I have my Guinness Record. I have some other stuff. A magazine cover over there. I should have pulled them off and held them. But anyway, the point is, why would I put them there? Or why would sometimes I actually shoot from that side of the room in this direction so that people see like, what, is that the Guinness Record over your shoulder? Oh yeah. I guess I'll talk about it. And then you have more to talk about. So those are the 4 ways that you share and celebrate. And that's what we want people to do.
Right.
And very quickly, I put up the virtual background of the other side of the room. Oh, it's all wonky looking, but that's the Guinness Record. I'll go like that.
Very nice.
So people can see when I shoot in that direction. And you see all the social proof up here and on the side. But I'm going to turn it off because it's too wonky to look at.
Super quick commercial break. Isn't this interview amazing? If you'd like to get more ideas on how to start or grow your speaking business fast, pop over to our free training at doitmarketing.com/webinar. So now we have celebrated. What is next?
All we have is number 3. Okay. Call to action, which is booking appointments, telling them how to book an appointment. Go to my website, get my free thing. You need to say the call to action in the interview, and you need to say it afterwards where I just talked about it being underneath. Jess, you kind of mentioned some of it in number 2. This is why it's number 3, because if you forget this piece, people don't know what to do.
Right.
I know when I first started my business 15 years ago, I didn't tell people what to do all the time. And it turns out it doesn't work as well, right? So the step 3 is a little shorter, which is calls to action. And actually, one of the things that I teach is micro calls to action. So people don't even realize. So in a media interview, in every answer, you want to be thinking of yourself as the teacher. And you want to not only be giving nuggets of brilliance, you also want to say, try this one thing. Go do this other thing. Ask yourself this question. That's a call to action. You got me to act. To go, oh yeah, I should ask myself this question. Would I feel that elevating my credibility, my brand could help me? Yeah, probably could. Okay, then ask yourself this question. Are you willing to take these steps to be able to tighten that loop? Well, yeah, maybe. So people are starting to think those things. Those are the 3. Get the media attention, share and celebrate, and make sure you have a call to action. It may sound super simple because it is, I think.
Yeah.
I set a Guinness record. And the thing that holds people back, I'll just throw this in and then let you ask questions off that stuff or whatever you like, which is the thing that holds people back? Themselves. It's really just us getting in our own way. Like, oh, I don't know if I'm worthy, or maybe I should just do nothing, or whatever the self-limiting dialogue is that people have in their heads. And the good news is, this was my take when I was a TV producer, was everybody's got some story to tell, and there's some angle, and there's some right place, like you mentioned earlier, that we can be telling it. And there are people who want to hear what we have to say. So again, I mean, this is now a theme. The more we think about other people and help other people, that's the sweet spot where we can, let go of those limiting thoughts. And there you have it. Good night, everybody.
That's it, folks. All righty then. Well, I do want to talk about...
I am wearing pants.
I'm glad. That's good. I want to talk about your special gift that you have for our summit participants.
I changed my mind. They can't have it.
They can't have it anymore because they were scribbling notes. They were writing on their palm with a Sharpie. They were like, wait a minute. So I got to do this, and then I do that, and then there's this third thing, and then I got to buy this, and then wait a second.
And by the way, if I had been doing, yes, I'll bring that up, but had I been doing, say, more traditional interview and not with you, where I'm giving full out, I would have planted seeds. This is another thing I teach for interviews about the book, Media Secrets. I would have mentioned it somehow. I didn't. I don't need to. I'm here to help your people. But people can get a free copy of Media Secrets at a super secret URL, which is Free Media Secrets. You're going to put that up. Yeah. And basically, this is a media training crash course. I do cover some of the publicity pieces, and then I go into planting seeds. And how do you plug in the 2000s? Plug is an acronym for properly leverage your gift. Yes, I spelled you are. Get over it. Properly leverage your gift. So if people go over there, they can get the book. They can learn all my secrets. My wife used to work in publishing, and she said, if you put them all in the book, are they still your secrets? Yes, they are. They are still my secrets, even though I'm telling everybody who has it. So you can go there, and then there's two ways to get the book. You can get the physical book by filling it in, and I will pay for the book. All you have to do is pay for the shipping.
That's option one.
That's option one. And then if you fill it out and you start to go through the process, I will see it for this promotion, and then we'll send you a digital one if you just say you want the digital one, if you start to go through the process. So
tremendous.
Yes, so people have access.
Completely free, like free. The digital copy is completely free. And if people are old school, if they like holding something called a book in their physical hand that they can actually take into the bathtub with a highlighter, start marking it up. I know, I'll explain bathtub later. You could also get the free book, but they just chip in for the shipping.
Exactly. I mean, they can pay full price if they want. That's okay.
They could go to Amazon and get it full price right now.
They can pay the $24.95,
but we don't want them to do that.
Yes, we don't want them to do it through you. So I have this as the super secret link that I don't always share, but I'm going to share it today. And by the way, people need to go over there because I turn it on and off.
If you're watching this right now, get your butt over to freemediasecrets.com.
That's it. David said it. I listen to everything he tells me to do.
So, but I do have to tell you, if you were to work for the CIA,
yes,
or the FBI,
I might already be,
and you have a top secret URL where people could get a free copy of Media Secrets, and it's freemediasecrets.com, I think a couple people might catch on to that, don't you think?
They might catch on, but sometimes we turn it on and off.
I understand.
Where it redirects into something else, or it says it's disabled. And it's mainly so that I can be like, and now it's open. And,
right.
So it should still be open. And if it's not, then I guess go to Amazon.
Talk a little bit about, because I know you have a fantastic whole bunch of client success stories, and we could talk about this for hours. Talk about some of the different kinds of professionals that you work with, because people go, oh, well, I guess Jess and David, they're speakers and trainers and consultants, and everything we talked about just works for speakers, trainers, and consultants. But if you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, if you're selling software, if you're a sales professional, talk about some of the folks that you've helped so that people realize, oh, wait a second, this isn't just for consultants and speakers. It could be for any kind of executive or entrepreneur who wants to build their personal brand and get leads and get media and turn it into business. Quick success story parade. Who do you got?
I have lots of success stories, but to answer the first part of your question is, who do I work with? On the training side, CEOs. I've worked with the AARP, ASPCA, Google, LinkedIn.
But I guess my point, Jess, is that this is all kinds of industries across the board,
correct? All kinds of industries, but also right now, through a program I have called Media Ambassadors, I've been helping health and medical folks, legal folks, and money experts, mainly those three categories, on publicity. But you name it. I worked with a company that came to me and they said, we manufacture steel. and I had to learn about steel manufacturing, which was actually kind of interesting. But anyway, all different people I work with. And then you said success stories. I have a client right now who's in our publicity program who is a clinical psychologist. And there's an angle on everything. I mean, we're living in this moment of time where people are stressed out anyway. Come on, we're always stressed out as human beings, probably, because we try to do too much, and
Right.
our reptilian brain is built to be like, "What's wrong?" But we happen to be in this moment in time where there's lots of stuff melting down. And you and I chatted about this even before the call, which is we have a choice to play in that or to play a different game. So anyway, she's gotten booked on more than 50 different interviews in the year or so that we've been working with her. All the major networks, ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, Headline News, Reader's Digest, Inc. I think she was an entrepreneur. I have to go check. But the point is, it comes down to the right. I mean, she listened to what we said and she's in the program. She gets extra guidance. Anyway, we come up with a killer headline. And then we said, we just need 5 bullets so we can send it out for you. But it comes down to what would be a good story. Media folks have an endless need for content.
Yeah.
So that's it. So somebody like her who played bigger, who's like, I'll come up with the ideas, it got some success.
This is the point that I wanted to end on. A lot of people think, oh, I know who gets media. Famous, successful people get media. And yes, and guess how those people got famous and successful. First, step 1, get media. Step 2, turn the media into business, the way Jess just talked about, and of course, detailed in the book. Then it's like, this person's everywhere. So let's say that you're a sales pro, you're a CEO of a company or whatever. It's like, well, how come this other steel manufacturing company, they're on the radio, their CEO's quoted in the Business Journal, they're all over here, they're on the podcast, and our company's better, our company's bigger, our company's, doesn't matter. Because you know what? The media tells the story. You don't get the media, they don't tell your story.
And the interesting thing is, it's like lighter fluid on top of that, which is the sharing. It's what you just said. I see you everywhere. Most of the time, it's because we kept putting it back out. So say you did, right? You did 10 interviews and you mix it in on social media in between your various personal content, but they keep seeing in a feed, you on this TV show, you on this radio show, you in this article, and then you're on another TV show, even though it may be the same 10 things repeating.
Sure.
That's the answer. People are like, holy cow, you're everywhere. And what happens is people just say, you're on fire. And it's a much shorter loop for like, know, and trust. So that's it. That's how we use it. You know, out of all the ways David shows people marketing, I appreciate you including me in this other interesting little lane, not that little, that people can have some fun with. And I mean, I find it's fun, and build their business and their brands. So like it says behind David over both shoulders, do it, people. Oh, I'm going to have to do it media. I'll change my book.
Make sure to grab that URL. That's great.
That could be under David's branding and then totally confuse everybody.
Yes. That's okay. Because then, I'll just show up wearing my Jess Todtfeld mask.
You will. That's what I'm wearing today. You don't even want to know how many hours it took for us to get this together.
Makeup, hair and makeup, everybody.
Hair and makeup, people. Actually, I do usually, that's for a conversation for another day, recommend that people put some powder. I didn't put it on today.
Yeah.
I went au naturel, but people put a little bit of powder and things like that. And women are usually a little more clued into the magic of makeup, but for other people who may not wear it, it's helpful.
I got the shine coming off the lights. I got the whole ball. That's crazy.
You and I will talk. $8, Walgreens, and you're going to see a little powder, and then you're going to be like, wow, now I have a new thing that I do.
Now I'm looking good.
Which is just like a minor thing. I mean, like for me, it looks like you don't see 5 o'clock shadow or dark circles or whatever other stuff. But also it does help to give lots of good information. And I suspect some people might want to get a hold of me. I figure you'll put it wherever the heck you put it.
No, tell us. Hit it.
If you want to email me, Jess, Jess, at mediaambassadors, plural.com, then you can reach out.
Awesome. You are the man, my friend. Here's the deal. Media is marketing. Marketing is media. And media is Jess Todtfeld.
Boom. David, thank you so much.
Well, that wraps up another episode of The Speaking Show. Hey, tell you what, if you like us, rate us and review us on iTunes. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Go grab the notes and downloads and extras at thespeakingshow.com. See you next time.